I don't know. What do you think?
How about landslide?
Landslide? Yeah, okay. Um, took my love and I took it down. Climbed a mountain and I turned around. And I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills, till the landslide brought me down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can a child within my heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tide? Can I sail through the season of my mind? Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you, Weenie Shane. But time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older too. I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I lived my life around you. But time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older too. Oh, I'm getting older too. Take my love, take it down. Climb a mountain, I turn around. And if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, landslide, bring it down. If you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, well, the landslide will bring it. Landslide will bring it down.
Oh, sweetie, that was beautiful.
Thanks, Weenie Mushane. Hey, Boozhoo! Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to Boozhoo Nanaboozhoo, the podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am Nanaboozhoo, and with me today, the lovely and the talented Natasha. Ikadom Boozhoo, Weenie Mushane. Say hello, sweetheart.
Hello, sweetheart. Nah.
How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing just fantastic. Are you excited to be here?
I'm really excited. Boozhoo, everybody. Natasha Nindish the cause. Natasha is my name. Niman Waindam, G-A-I-N, Omanungum. I'm happy to be here today. Back to you, Nanaboozhoo.
Thank you, Weenie Mushane. Oh, and how are you guys doing on this beautiful Thursday morning in the live stream chat room? We got Wisani, Boozhoo Wisani, and Jim Dunn, Boozhoo Jim, and lovely Jessica Gonzalez, Mino Giga Jabe, and Sheila's here. Boozhoo. Hey, honey, Sheila's here.
Oh, No, tell her I said Boozhoo.
Natasha says Boozhoo. And yeah. So here we are again in the Boozhoo Nanaboozhoo podcast studio. Got a little fire going. Making things all cozy and that. I have to keep the charm on. I have to set an ambiance or, my old lady might lose interest in me.
Nah, get out of here. I'm not going to lose interest in you.
Uh-huh. So, Boozhoo. And today, our OJIBWE word, or it's a phrase of the day. Our OJIBWE phrase of the day. We got a good one, because it's going to be a good day, I just got that feeling, honey.
What's that?
I feel like it's going to be a good day. And to illustrate that, let's look at an OJIBWE cartoon. If I can find it here. Oh, la la la. OJIBWE by Michael Lyons. Available on Amazon.com. Click the link. No. So this is Michael's OJIBWE cartoon. And it's got Steven, the alien. And he's saying, "We mino gija good." It's going to be a good day. We mino gija good. And, sometimes in OJIBWE, they just write it as one word, like one big phrase. But this one's been broken up. So you got your we. Basically, there's the future and the past, if you're going to say something. So if you're going to say something's going to be, you would say we. If you were going to say something what had been, you'd say gi. We is it's going to be, and then there's mino, like mino bamarizian, a good life, like mino. It's going to be good. And then gija good. Day. We mino gija good. It's going to be a good day. Huh, sweetie?
I sure think so. I hope so.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe if you just put it as an intention, then it'll come true.
Oh, you mean like the law of attraction?
Yeah. What do you think of that? Do you buy into the law of attraction?
No. I really wanted to. There was a time when I really looked into that law of attraction. It made a lot of sense in a way. I had researched in a way, like what makes a person successful? What makes a person happy? And I learned a lot. I found out that to become happy, you should engage in some sort of activity that is just hard enough that it's a challenge, but not too hard that you get discouraged. The payoff has to be within your reach. And if you can find something that you like to do, that's like that. And it doesn't matter what. That's why some guys are really into chess or really into golf because it's just hard enough where it's not, you don't get bored, but then there's a reward, a skill or something. Well, playing music's that way. I was watching an interview with Gail Dorsey,
the bass player from David Bowie's band?
Yeah. Gail Dorsey was a bass player and just a beautiful singer and a great bass player. And she also played acoustic guitar. And she said, she goes, the acoustic guitar is so hard. Even after all these years, it's really a hard instrument to play. And I was like, yeah, she's right. For as much, guitar will always be my main instrument. Obviously, because I barely play piano. Oh, no, I play piano pretty well. What about Landslide? But guitar will always be my my favorite instrument. But you can never quite master it. And yet, when you learn guitar, like you learn 3 chords, if you can learn to shape your hand a certain way, you can start to play songs and sound kind of cool, pretty quickly. And what makes it fun is that It's always a challenge. It's always a little too hard to play. But then you keep getting better and better, and so it makes you happy. I think all music's like that. Any art. But it's going to be a good day. So the law of attraction. So anyway, so I was researching all this, what makes for a happy person? What makes for a successful person? I sort of discovered podcasts because I was always researching how to, get over depression, how to, have the career you want or whatever. And it would lead to different comedians and whoever talking about what they had to do to overcome depression, to make it in their field. And then eventually, the old YouTube algorithm led me to these, the law of attraction. And what the law of attraction basically says is, if you set your mind to an intention, if you set your mind on something, you will draw it to you. And they go, you're already doing this. You can tell. Have you ever noticed how you always seem to get the same kind of job? You always seem to get the same amount of money. You always seem to be having the same sort of relationships over and over again. Why is that? It's like, well, you're attracting it to you because it's what you think you deserve. And it's what you think, will, whatever. So the trick in the law of attraction is to change how you think. Pretend that the thing you want, you actually have it. Put it in your mind. And then watch, because the universe will bring it to you. Because I couldn't understand why I could understand so much about what people were saying about how to overcome depression, how to become, successful. And yet I was depressed and unsuccessful in every aspect. Financially, professionally, relationships wise, health. I knew this stuff, and yet I couldn't help but just constantly fail. There was something missing, And so I thought it was the law of attraction. So I really tried to, I bought that book, The Secret. I watched the interview with Oprah Winfrey. You watched Oprah Winfrey? Yeah. I know. I'm not proud of myself, fellas. But I watched the Oprah Winfrey interview where she interviews all the people from The Secret. And, made a vision board. I didn't quite make a vision board, but I wrote down all these goals, all these things I wanted to attract in my life. And it, you would see incremental steps that you would go, well, I'm really putting my focus on, becoming a cartoonist. I'm really going to put my focus on being in a band, And so I did those things kind of, but I was still a failure at them. And it wasn't until everything fell out, my old princess passed away, and I just hit rock bottom, and I just gave up, and I got on my knees, I started praying. I was like, oh, why? And then something happened, something clicked. And I realized, oh, wait, it's not the law of attraction that brings you stuff, it's prayer. And it's tricky when you pray, because it's hard you have to know what you want, and you have to know what Gitche Manadu wants for you. But, you can't pray to become famous and to have nobody, and have everyone leave you alone. Even Prince couldn't find that balance. So sometimes you have conflicting things. Like, what do I want? I want a family, and I want to have lots of solitude and peace and quiet. It's like, well, Gitche Manadu can't give you both. You can either have kids and a wife and, everything that entails, good and bad. The love, the highs, the lows, tragedy, the comedy, the richness. Or you can have solitude and peace and contemplation and productivity, and, all this stuff. If you're praying for both, that's a tall order even for the Creator. So, but anyway, so the law of attraction wasn't working. And then prayer clicked something. I gave up. I let go. That's the other thing they always say. You got to let go and let God. When you're in a stream and it's like you're clinging on to some seaweed and you're trying to climb against the current. You're trying to swim against the current. It keeps pushing you back and dashing you against the rocks. And you're going, how come nothing works? It's like, well, let go. Go with the current. Pray to God. And then, you can't have it both ways. It's like, oh, Heavenly Father, I want to be an artist. I want to create. I want to, play music and have fun. Do something, I don't want to have a job every day. And Heavenly Father, please help me not to lose my job. It's like, quit telling him two things to do because he can't. You got to choose one. So when I gave up and I let go, and I let go of my security, and I let go of my respectability, I just let it happen. Then that finally everything kind of started to fall into place. It's the most amazing thing. Where was it? Oh, it's going to be a good day. Yeah. So, there's a great song. As if all good days would be good days from now on. I wish I could remember that guy's name. It was Henry something. Yeah. So, what I learned about the law of attraction was that, you do sort of create your own reality in a way. If you say it's going to be a good day, it probably will. A happy, grateful person isn't going to be made unhappy because of circumstance. In the same way that a unhappy person, a really miserable person, can get what they want and they're still going to be unhappy. That's the other tough thing, huh, sweetie? What? Just knowing what will make you happy. At the end of the day, sometimes people will pray. At least I used to do this. I didn't know I knew what to pray for, and I didn't want to just, Heavenly Father, please give me $2,000. If I could just had $2,000, I could get by. But you want to be happy, and you don't even know to pray for that. Please make me happy. What, is it going to make you feel drunk all the time? Here you go. Here's some antidepressants. Prayer isn't an antidepressant. Where am I going with all this? Oh yeah, what you put your mind on. So then, you're, you want to be a certain person. And sometimes that looks like being successful at a certain job or having a certain type of relationship. Oh, I finally met a really young, thin woman who looks like she took a shower. And she doesn't mind making sandwiches for me. Thank you, Gichimanadu, for finally bringing me the woman. For finally bringing me Natasha. Oh, that's sweet, honey. Now go make me a sandwich. Oh, get out of here. Did you really want a sandwich? No, I'm just kidding. So, yeah. So the law of attraction, in a way, what they're talking about is true. You become who you think you are and who you think you deserve to be. Problem with being young is you keep on waiting for somebody older and wiser or somebody to save you. You know, as an artist, I always thought, it's going to be some company or something, some big break. Somebody will say, hey, you got something there, kid. I don't know. We could jam in Joe's garage. His mama was singing, turn it down. We was playing the same old song in the afternoon, and sometimes we would play it all day long. It was all we knew. And Grieving Turtle is here. Boozhoo. Hey, sorry I haven't gotten back to you yet on your email. I saw it there and I was like, hold on, I'm going to read that in just a second here. And then I went off and got distracted by real world stuff, and I haven't read any of my emails yet. In fact, I have an email in there apparently where I thought we had a gig last night, huh, sweetie?
Yeah, we were all set up, ready to go on your big Zoom gig, and then there was no email.
Yeah, she wrote back.
What'd you say?
She said, yeah, that's on Friday, remember? I sent you the email saying we rescheduled for Friday. And I hadn't read it.
You gotta start reading your emails.
I know. Hikes. Anyway, how you doing, Grieving Turtle? Boozhoo. It's nice to see you. Weesanie says, Bob Proctor was close, though. Yeah, Bob Proctor. Kind of an unfortunate name. My name is Bob Proctor. I don't know why Proctor sounds gross. What am I thinking of? Like when you go to the doctor and they gotta check your proctor. That's not called a proctor. Proctologist. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. Lisa Nee. And you did. Bob Proctor was close though, and you did. Yeah. You do finally get to break through, and I don't know. Maybe you do. I'm starting to wonder if it's not like a question of finding your purpose. Why are you here? What is the reason? When I was a little kid, it was the first question adults would always ask you. What do you want to be when you grow up? That was always like, I want to be a rock star. Be Elvis Presley. But I know that's a long shot. So maybe I'll just be a cartoonist. These are kid goals. I want to draw and sing. Because I don't think there are jobs that just let you play with your action figures. That was the other job, if I was being really honest. I just want to play with my stuffed animals and my action figures. Guys? That's no job. Well, sometimes it is. You can turn it into a job. Start a podcast. But yeah, the law of attraction. It's always... I know it's easy now that everybody's sort of wised up to the law of attraction, to these new agey get rich quick schemes or get mentally healthy quick schemes. But at least people are trying to help, The book The Secret is all about people who, are really successful and happy. So they claim. And so they just tell, well, how'd I do it? I employed the secret law of attraction. And every successful person knows about this, they claimed. Michelangelo. How do you know what Michelangelo thought? But it's the old fake it till you make it. Somebody brought that up the other day. How if you fake it till you make it. So you want your life to look more like, somebody happy and successful. And, somebody gets up in the morning and has a kale shake and then goes to the gym, works out. And then, you know, hangs out in the coffee club with her good friends and goes shopping with easily money, you know. But you're not that person at all. Well, the great thing about like childhood, you know, how you're always like pretending to be somebody. You get together with your buddies, like, okay, let's say my name is, I don't know, Eagle Man, and I have the power of the eagle. And my costume is, I got a white mask and like a brown outfit with brown wings that come off my arms, right? And yellow boots, and I can fly, and you know, and I've also got throwing stars for some reason. And so that'll be who I am. And then you would just adopt a character. I am Eagle Man. For truth, justice, and the American way. I just made up a new superhero. But
That's great, honey.
thank you. But the law of attraction is just employ that same skill. The skill of pretending. Play that you're a happy person. Play that you're the kind of person who likes to get up in the morning and go to the gym and put in her old headphones, get on that treadmill. You know? And if you show them a person who gets up early in the morning and doesn't have donuts in the break room, says no to the birthday cake, you know, sing for your coworkers. That's great. Happy birthday to you. Hey, you want some cake, birthday cake? It's like, no, thank you. You know, thin people don't eat birthday cake. These are the secrets of the thin. But if you pretend you're you know, you can still be crazy and depressed and have anxiety and deep fears, but you can just keep that to yourself. You don't have to show that to the world. Go out there and pretend. You know, Adam Crowley was like, tell your shoulders that you're depressed. If you do 20 push-ups every day, your shoulders are going to respond just like a regular athletic, healthy person's shoulders respond. You know. So, if you want to be a rock star, whatever that means, I mean, don't want to be famous, but let's say you want to feel like Paul Stanley looks. And grow out your hair and, you know, strut around. Strutter! Watch out! La, 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 la. I don't know, man. You know what's going to be fun about Friday?
What?
The audience is going to be mostly just little kids. I mean, nothing against the Boozhoo crew. You guys, you know, you'll own my heart. But, you know, the tone, I'm not going to talk about the law of attraction and depression and, you know, conspiracy theories and rabbit holes to kindergartners.
No, I don't suppose.
You know what? The kids actually prefer you.
I know, the little ones. I think on Friday, you know, if it's cool with you, maybe I should start the show.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You start the show, welcome all the people in, you know, because the kids, they just go nuts for you.
Yeah. Remember last time they wanted us to hug?
Yeah. We had to get on camera. And one little kid was on the Zoom thing. She was like, can Natasha and Nanaboozhoo hug? And I'm like, what kind of video do you think this is? Okay, but I'm drawing a line at a hug. You know, I don't want this to be a PG show. Did Ernie and Bert ever hug?
Oh, they're probably hugging now.
Yeah. So, I guess Dr. Seuss is a racist.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't look into it at all. And I don't believe it. But apparently he's the latest, you know, another one to bite the dust for being They want to cancel Dr. Seuss. Did you guys hear that? Lisa Nee says, I always said me. Oh, wait. Lisa Nee, that's really funny. I'm not going to read it out loud. There's nothing new under the sun. Well said. That's what I'm learning. That's why the Bible is still relevant. Because it's all happening again. The secret is that they wrote a book called The Secret, and millions of people bought it, so now they're rich. That's the real secret. Yeah. You want to become rich and famous? Write a book about how to become rich and famous. I put it in my mind that I would have a best-selling book. Buy our best-selling book on how to sell a best-selling book. Grieving Turtle says, for those of us who aren't Paul Stanley groupies, what are you doing here if you're not a Paul Stanley groupie? What would Robert Smith, the former Minnesota Viking, do? Robert always looks so together. There you go. What would Robert Smith do? We should make little bracelets that say, what would Robert Smith do? I thought Robert Smith was the lead singer of The Cure. There's probably more than one Robert Smith. But yeah. So, all right. Well, the latest conspiracy theory that we were talking about the other day had to do with history. GOFUNDME. I'm not even sure how to say it. The story of the past. And, I think more about what I think was the past than the average person, probably. Learning the language really makes me lots of times my mind is just sort of in 1900 and before, when people were speaking OJIBWE. But, a lot of what I think I know about the past was informed by movies and, history classes I didn't really pay attention into, if I'm being honest. But, a general gist of, the Wild West. It looked just like Tonto and Lone Ranger, Dances with Wolves, and before the white man came, this was untouched virgin land. We were living in the continent of Eden. Canoeing around in birch bark canoes, no metal, there weren't even viruses, They tell us that, it was actually, the white man didn't kill us, it was their diseases. We weren't immune to the smallpox or whatever. We didn't even, it was like this beautiful place. But the big question mark is, how did everything get built so fast? They just sort of sum up, how did they lay all the railroad tracks and build all the bridges and all the, that just seemed, it's like, it took them hundreds of years, a couple hundred anyway. And I guess that the Chinese came over. It's like, okay, wait, so they had a gold rush, and the people out east just rode their little wagon trains of horse and buggy all the way across the entire continent to get to the gold, because they could become rich. It's like, what are you going to buy out here? There's nothing here. Just teepees and buffalo. But now I'm starting to wonder, actually, that probably is not true. There probably already were great architecture everywhere. The courthouses and everything, the post office, the amazing brick and marble, anything with columns like the White House. That seems to be an architecture that is worldwide, And right here in America, in the United States or whatever, it could have been that there were already buildings here, and that the story of the immigration and whatever is probably true. There was a time that these people came from the other world. But what did they come to? Were there already cities here that had been abandoned? So let's take a look at this thing. Hey Benjamin, you wanna pull up that video? And I wonder, can you explain to us a little bit about what I'm talking about with maybe some of those videos?
Very often, I wish I had lived anywhere else but America. And the more I continued to research this subject, it eventually became clear, and it was staring me right in the face, that the same architecture, built by the same displaced people, was found all over America. And in fact, this lent to the next part of the puzzle. If the history of America is so young as compared to the rest of the world, then this displacing of a prior civilization must have happened less than 200 years ago.
Oh.
And so we all began looking into our past for old construction photos and evidence to support the mainstream narrative. And what we have found is very little to support these claims, seeming pretty clear that there was a past civilization on this continent before our people arrive on the scene. And in fact, we see at least two eras. One that is badly damaged, it seems to have been hit with heat and water, and one that seems to be in pretty good shape. And when I say in pretty good shape, I mean the buildings, lending to the idea that the last reset was one of catastrophic consequences, removing the inhabitants of this prior civilization, but yet leaving these glorious buildings behind. Perhaps the greatest proof lending to this theory. And of course, these being redesignated as hotels and libraries, post offices, capitol buildings, schools, and many other designations. And oftentimes, people ask, what about the Native Americans?
Yeah.
What do they have to say about this theory? Surely they would have seen these ancient cities, would have lived amongst them, would have stories to tell. And in many cases, they do have these stories. Recently, I was told of a Navajo creation story. And of course, we have the Hopi creation story, telling us that we've done all of this at least 4 times over. Civilization has risen to great levels only to be reset by one catastrophe or another. And of course, many of the traditions and oral stories of the Native Americans have been buried through forced education programs, a great tragedy in our early history. And no matter where you go, even the most recent parts of the Americas, being Alaska, Hawaii, Nevada, the Old West, these exact same buildings can be found. And recently I was watching a video on the inception of Las Vegas, and even the story as they told it was supposed to be crude buildings and tents and makeshift hotels. And yet when you looked at the background in these pictures, you already had glorious buildings in the style of the old world with the quality and craftsmanship not expected of old cowboys.
No.
So here I just wanted to take a little tour of Capitol buildings of America.
Yeah, I got them right here. Capitol buildings of America. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, so I just have a couple here. So there we go. You know, it's a pretty decent building if you ask me. Maybe I should move myself front. So they tell us, you know, I don't even know what town this is. Somewhere in Minnesota. It's got just a beautiful dome, that weird thing up at top, the bricks from who knows what, and it's built to last forever. You know? And apparently, you know, you'll ask them, how in the world did these guys, without electricity or, you know, anything except their wagon train, build this? I should make that bigger, actually. But there we go. Okay, so this is one of the earliest photos of courthouses in Minnesota. And you can just tell, let me make that bigger. And just get rid of me altogether. So it's just, you know, there's a statue. There's an enormous statue of somebody, probably Lady Liberty or the Statue of Liberty or who knows. Somebody in Roman garb on top of a dome, an open air dome that does something that we don't need anymore. This was a time that, you know, it's an early picture. They already had electricity, you know. But that thing, you know, is in a small town somewhere in Minnesota. Just like this one. But the one that, now that I'm invisible, where's the, not that one. You would think I would learn to, and I'm back. You would think I would learn to label these things. So I have an image file of the Beltrami County Courthouse. Here it is. Nope. Beats me. One more thing. Okay, yeah. Here's the Beltrami County Courthouse. Sorry, guys. Courthouse in Bemidji, Minnesota. And year is, what does that say? 1127? I don't think it was built that long ago. Or who knows? It probably was. But the story of our city is that they built it in 1900 or 1903. You know, at the same time that the pioneers or whatever were building log cabins, you know, pulling stuff with an ox or a horse. Natives were living in wigwams and dirt floors. But these guys thought, hey, you know what? When we start we're going to start a little town here called Bemidji. You know, and someday, in 120 years, it'll grow to 11,000 people. But we're going to build this beautiful courthouse. Oh, and while we're at it, let's build about 5 more buildings just this beautiful, because someday they might want to start a college. You know? I mean, come on. So what is it? What really happened? What was our history? How can there be, there's certain stories that, I mean, just think of Little House on the Prairie. What was that, 1860s? So 40 years later, they went from living in a mud hut to building up Minnesota to such an extent. I guess there were towns back then too. But yeah, okay, so look, you look at the town of Little House on the Prairie, and they tried to recreate what it must have looked like. And, the town, you came in on a dirt road, and it was a quaint little place, but you saw, the facade, the fake fronts of wood to make it look even nicer than the basic box, windowless buildings they had for the stores and the restaurants and that. The saloon. So they make it look real modest. And at the same time, apparently slaves are building enormous, I'm not even sure what to call, like, the courthouses. And that's nothing compared to the cathedrals and the churches like in the cities. Or like that picture of the Mormon cathedral or whatever. What happened? Is this evidence that there was once an advanced civilization who lived right here and built buildings that seem to be for the size of giants? You walk into any college. Oh yeah, so that's the other thing. So Bemidji has a college right on the lake. Beautiful college with gorgeous old buildings. And an underground system of tunnels. Those pioneers sure were good at building buildings that would last forever. We've kind of slacked off on our ability to, economically, financially build like they did in the 1900s, in the 1800s. So that can't be true. That can't be the truth. And so a couple of things come to my mind. What goes through my mind? Okay, if that's not true, are we mistaken, or are they lying to us? Is there a conspiracy? Was there an effort to keep something secret and to mislead everybody? And if that's the case, how would you and who would want to deceive everybody? That makes no sense. If you were going to fake history, if you're going to come up with a fake history, not just, people wrote down stuff and they kept track, but, we're just not, it's not 100% waterproof, But if somebody was actually faking the actual story of history, it would take generations to pull off. And the only person, I don't even want to call him a person, but it would have to be like Satan. It would have to be something immortal to pull off such a deception. And I think it goes along with the deception of space and evolution and the spinning ball theory and the theory of gravity. But there's been an effort to deceive people into believing a certain story and a certain reality of their lives. But why are we figuring this out now? I don't believe I'm smarter than all my ancestors. That makes me wonder too. Are we living in a time where things are getting revealed? Where the truth is coming out in the light of day? And I'll go, what? No, man. Remember what I've been telling you, all those hippies from the past, when they say, oh man, those are lies. That's the government lying to you. Don't you know you're being played? We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. And you go, what? What does that mean? The very story of Plymouth Rock could be a complete fiction. And not just a mistake or a game of telephone. Oh, yeah, there was the true story, and then it got passed around so much that now it's false. It's like, no. That somebody or some buddies got together with a plan to deceive people and put it into textbooks and encourage certain things, certain narratives through movies, and publish certain books and certain ideas that everyone would kind of get, to when the truth is right in front of your face, you still go, nah. It's like, look, man, do you really believe 50 Mormons in a caravan wagon train built the Mormon Tabernacle in the middle of Utah, in the middle of an area that wasn't even inhabited by Native Americans? If you don't believe that, then consider that there were these great buildings here. There were great people, truly great, intelligent, skilled people, better than we are today, who could build such things. Because it's not just that they're great buildings. They're beautiful buildings. The architecture is breathtaking. I think the same people who built the buildings also are the ones who did all the sculptures. The great flesh-looking marble sculptures, or stone sculptures, or whatever. These statues, who's making the statues? They're on top of every dome. Was that a business? Was that a company? Or did the architects and the carpenters and stuff get together and go, hey, you know what? You know what would make this courthouse look really good? Lady Liberty statue in bronze. Right up on top. Oh, that's a great idea. Can we fit it in a budget, Joe? Make it happen. So, yeah, okay. The locals still don't have electricity or indoor plumbing. Yeah, no, we want the dome. Who said that? I didn't even move my lips. So yeah. Once I was a fool. What's going on down here with the viewers? Some live stream. I'm not even talking to you guys. Jessica says, and yes, there were some bigger societies here like Cahokia, hey. John Levy reminds me of Ben Stein, the eyes droop guy. Yeah, no kidding. So you recognize John Levy, huh? I thought he Benjamin doesn't usually sound like that, but it looks like he could. Sheila's sending some love. Grieving Turtle says, courage is going into a store and asking if they have Texas Christian horned toad chow. And then you accept no for an answer. Texas Christian horned toad chow. Grieving Turtle says, perseverance is really bad for you if you're going the wrong direction towards a wicked desire. Yeah, no kidding. sometimes we get trained to persevere, to have skills, to overcome, to set your mind on something, go in a direction you want. But we're not taught the wisdom of, is it wise to be going after this thing? Maybe this isn't the best thing for you. So, yeah. I don't know, a lot of deep thoughts today, huh, honey?
Yeah, sure is.
Should we call it a show?
Yeah, it's probably good.
All right. Well, everybody, I think I'm going to head out. I'm kind of hungry. Do you want to go out to Country Kitchen, get some fried eggs and toast?
I'd love to go to Country Kitchen. We can get some hash browns, too.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. All right, you guys. Miigwech Ganawabieg. Thank you for watching. Boozhoo Nanaboozhoo. Podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am Nanaboozhoo.
And this is Natasha. Boozhoo!
And that's Michael. Hello. And I will see you again. GOFUNDME. Minawa. Oh, and live stream.